Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Garbage Theater. I'm your host, Chase, with my co-host, Blake.
Hello.
And John.
Gentlemen.
Let's get this shit show back on the road. Well, we're back.
Can you believe it?
Can you believe it? And can you believe we came back for this shit? Well, actually, we need to see because the listeners out there have no idea what we watched. We decided we were going to come back, so we needed to do something, explosive coming back. So we chose for tonight's movie Scotch Tape Mustaches, the Neil Breen story. No, that's not what it is. Twisted Pair. And no, we're not talking about Neil Breen's sagging old man balls. We're talking about his 2018, whatever the hell this can be described as.
I'm very, very upset too, because like we quit doing this, and we moved on with our lives, and we were happy.
Yep.
And then somebody, I'm not going to say who, kept saying, we should really get back into it. And then we all agreed that it was just painful, and then kept chirping that, it'd be good if we did it. And then I was like, well, let's change it up where we just won't make it painful. Okay. And then I was on board. And then the first thing that y'all throw is this piece of shit. And like 3 seconds into the movie, I was like, here we fucking go.
Yep.
This is exactly.
It all came flooding back real quick.
I was promised that this wouldn't happen, and there it was.
God damn it, John. It's all your fault.
Most things are.
Matter of fact, the only reason I'm here is because of our unofficial sponsor is Sweet Buffalo Trace Whiskey.
One of those days, those guys will be an official sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll nab them one day.
Yeah.
So, Twisted Pair. Let's do the rundown, since we didn't have a previous episode to do this on. Not rated. Not surprising, because it's not a movie.
No, it's not.
It is a theatrical feature-length film, according to Breen himself.
And
it is a theatrical feature-length view into mental illness.
an hour and a half of juxtaposed stock footage does not a movie make. I don't care how much you green screen your shambling self into them.
And how are you going to make an action movie when you can't even run?
Yeah, my man's arthritis was acting up.
Get into that. IMDb says it had a budget of estimated $5. I think some wise ass put that on there. On IMDb, it's got a score of 5.2. It is not scored on Rotten Tomatoes. Amazon, it has a 4.5 out of 5, and I have to believe that's all sarcastic.
Oh, absolutely it is.
And Metacritic, it has a 26 with a 1.9 audience score. Written and directed by Neil Breen, starring Neil Breen, catering by Neil Breen, grip by Neil Breen, the usual thing with that.
I think he did do the catering, for real.
He did. For the rest of the cast, a plethora of actors that don't have headshots on IMDb, so that tells you a lot.
Yeah. And also, I would like to say that I did try to continue the tradition of not having a Neil Breen movie.
Yes.
I tried in vain to contact him on Twitter to get the free stream pulled down. Unsuccessful. So Here we are.
The free stream has been up for over 2 years, so I think that wasn't going to happen. If he hadn't noticed it by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he must have moved on.
Yeah. Plot keywords. Directed by Star. Twins. Sneaking. Explosion. Unintentionally funny. Dog. Eagle. Homeless. Kiss. Rat. And artificial intelligence.
That's the movie.
It fits. That is how, he wrote the plot on his dream board. Those words exactly.
And artificial intelligence has a big fat asterisk next to it because while it's talked about, there really isn't any artificial intelligence in this movie.
Well, he
go ahead, John.
He says that he's an AI hybrid. It's like that's what his character is, which I don't know what that means at all.
Yeah.
You're not artificial intelligence if you're an intelligent being. A natural intelligence.
He refers to being a humanoid constantly, and I don't think he knows what that means.
He does not.
He absolutely does not know what a humanoid is.
I got news for you, Breeny. We're all humanoid.
Yeah, exactly. But he was making it seem as if he was the only humanoid. No, man.
So, synopsis is just one sentence. Identical twin brothers became hybrid AI entities, yet torn in different directions to achieve justice for humanity. I guess you can say that's what this was about.
That is not what this is about.
If you go in knowing that sentence, then you could probably put it together.
And I'm gonna preface this whole thing by saying that when to remind everybody, I know it's been a year since there's been Garbage Theater, but when we go through this, I'm gonna be going through the scene in the emotion that I was watching it in present tense. So even though we know what happens in the scene later, I'm going to be reacting with the anger that I had when the scene first started.
Has it been a year since we've done this?
About.
Imagine that. A whole year sober. Gone.
Gotta throw that chip away.
Yep, that's it. It's over now.
So without further ado, because I think we have a lot
I will
to...
add...
I'll
add really quick that for the budget, because I was curious too. He's super secretive about all this stuff for some reason, but I know he raised $7,000 in a crowdfunding campaign.
Oh, so that's where he got
part of the funding for the movie.
That's where all the After Effects budget went.
Yeah. Okay, so I watched a Q&A with him after a screening of Twisted Pair.
Okay.
And gave me a lot of insight and stuff. But yeah, one thing he did insist on making a point of is that he has After Effects officially and pays the subscription for it and everything.
Jesus Christ.
That's not a thing anymore. Anyone can have After Effects now. It's not a hard thing to get. It's like $20 for a subscription to After Effects.
He's paying for it though.
He seems to be obsessed with the idea of everything being official and done a specific the right way. So him actually having the program and paying for the subscription is meaningful to him for some reason.
I think I figured it out. He has a 3-year-old's worldview of justice. So he's always making sure he's on the right side of it. So don't take my movie for free. You got to pay for it. And I'm paying for this shitty software. So don't, I'm not a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to say, I totally forgot. When I did try to get him on Twitter, I went through other things where people tweet at him, I guess. The only time I ever use Twitter is to talk to Neil Breen. So I don't know how it works. But they had a bunch of people, there's a whole thing of comments where people say that they got the movie and wanted to make sure that he got the money. And he actually responds yes, I got
it. That's awesome. Another thing you said was that he doesn't respond to most people. He'll only respond to glowing praise.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's just he's a fuck the haters type dude.
Yeah.
You would have to be doing this kind of shit.
You would have to be.
Absolutely. You have to be you are the epitome of not read the comments.
Yeah.
I have to say, if I watched this Q&A with him before I'd ever seen any of his movies, I'd be like, this is a normal man, like a rational kind of practical guy.
So just in
a
normal
lucid person
conversation, he seems normal, because I've never seen him outside of a movie.
Generally, the absurdity comes when you know that he's talking about this thing. like he's talking about it like it's a movie, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna have to look up some footage of him talking out of, acting context.
I have no interest. Y'all hit it on the head. A few days ago, one of y'all said he had big divorce energy, and like that was spot on. And then I told y'all today that, like, can you imagine being this guy's son? And like, yeah, well, Thanksgiving again, got to go see the dad. And like, when you get there, he's talking about these major projects he's working on, like just, and going into detail about how the logistics of getting explosions to happen and all, like, and you just know everything he says, he's full of shit. Which is why mom left you.
That's why we have to have 2 Thanksgivings, goddammit.
Right.
He's full of shit, but does not believe that he's full of shit.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Wouldn't possibly accept that he's full of shit.
Like, would reality cave in on itself if him and Seagal had a conversation?
Oh my God, please.
They can't both be the experts at everything, so...
I would kill to see a Neil Breen film starring Seagal.
Yeah. I was a humanoid AI once. No, I was the first.
It was me. Yeah. I was the first.
You bitch.
Oh God, the bitches. We'll get to it. We gotta start.
Yeah, we gotta
start.
We're rusty.
Okay, launching in. So, we open on Earth, and some Yanni bullshit playing, and I'm already reminded of the audacity of this man.
Mm-hmm.
The title card comes up, nice, clean, Times New Roman. 2 twin boys are shoving hot dog chunks at each other's mouths, and Breen's dreary voiceover comes on and says that his name is Cade and his brother's name was Kale, and they were born twins, just regular, everyday twins, and we were inseparable. And it's just some home movie of 2 kids eating hot dogs.
A stock home movie. Yeah. He likes to add details too. Like, I'm surprised the voiceover wasn't like, we loved hot dogs.
Right.
Well, it cuts from that to them being a little older, and they're on the beach with a dog. He goes, we loved going to the beach with our dog.
And that line only exists because the stock footage had a dog in it.
Exactly.
Right.
I had to bring it to attention.
Yeah.
And at this point, I thought my internet locked up because it freeze frames on the children and the dog, and the sound keeps going. And I thought something went wrong, and I rewound it like 3 times. Oh no, this is intentional.
Because it's not a meaningful frame at all. It's like a completely random frame.
Yeah. it just freezes.
Because it's the AI, man.
Yeah, he says then one day everything changed. And there's a lens flare. There was a bright light in the sky. And the twin boys were both selected. And I don't know what's going on at this point because the screen's flashing. There's all kinds of different effects. There's this ghosted face of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin mask or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
There's laser beam noises, and I regret all my life choices that led to me doing this again.
Yeah.
So he says that a force had taken them and reprogrammed their DNA and cells, making them humanoid with fantastic abilities.
I hope you're ready to see those fantastic abilities.
No,
because you're never going to see them.
Abilities TBD.
Yeah.
He says the rate of AI moves at a fantastic speed.
It's exactly how he delivered it.
And so far it's all stock footage. There's this creepy purple swamp with glowing shit around a dead tree. He says they were given orders by this superior entity to fight for truth, justice, and the American way. And then some candles appear in the swamp because we're not confused enough.
I tried to figure this out. And I'm so... Okay, well, I tried to figure out because you had 3 candles, all right? He gives a gift of a candle at one point.
Yeah.
But then there's a table with 3 cats on it. And the 3 cats move at certain points, so I went back to see if the candles disappeared in the set. Like, I went way too fucking deep. I thought I was going to figure out.
There's no
connection to it at all.
There's no method to this madness at all.
At least I can't see it. But I'm not, I'm not schizophrenic either. So.
So Cade says that his brother Cale wasn't successful in his mission over the years, so they took his powers. Yeah,
I think Cale got a bad rap in this whole thing. Like, he made it seem like it was his fault that he wasn't good enough. But I just thought that was wrong. Like, so he couldn't be the best, and therefore he's just useless.
Well,
it might have been because he was a murderer.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, because he's psychotic.
I don't know.
But
did he only become that way because they booted him from the Avengers or whatever?
Green Goblin kicked him out of the Sinister Six. I don't know.
Yeah,
they just didn't like his methods, I guess. I don't know. This is actually the main thrust of my analysis of the film. Is the 2 competing sort of philosophies of these 2 characters.
Philosophies?
Yeah, dude.
I was about to say.
Yes, sir. Because which one's the bad one? Cade?
Kale.
Kale's the bad one. So Cale...
You should probably know the names of them before you go into this...
Yeah.
There's good Breen and bad Breen.
Yeah, get to the point, Plato.
So Cale represents... I think the whole movie is like a representation of Breen's sort of shifting perspective on things.
Or his bipolar disorder?
Well, because... So all of his movies... his character in all the movies is like what Cale's like, where he thinks he can fix the like evil and corruption of the world by taking out individuals. That it's an individual choice to commit evil and not a structural issue. And Cade decides it's structures, it's systems, not individuals. So that's the main conflict here, is these 2 competing philosophies, man.
Good thing you cleared that up. Now I understand the 3 cats on the table.
Okay, so where the hell was I? After he explains all of that, we hold on a still frame of the purple swamp as 2 little Breens just appear, and they slowly walk towards the camera. And here's the thing: they're on the same plane, but one's half the height. Their feet are directly in line. And they just slowly get up, and then the one on the right, the shorter one, just kind of scoots up so that he's the right size.
I think for those listening, I think what hasn't been explained in this scene is it's just like a desktop background that he just green screened himself on twice.
Yeah. It also made no attempt to distinguish between the 2 characters at this point. Like, they're wearing the exact same clothes.
Exactly the same, yeah.
He's just flipped. It's the same footage.
No, I was just about to say that. It's flipped because his stupid shirt, it's flipped open to expose his chest on one of them on the left side, and on the other one, it's on the other side. It's just flipped.
That's just lazy, there you go. Neil.
Yeah, try hard.
And you know what
I
else?
think,
like, buy a belt. I don't understand. He's got blue jeans on with his shirt tucked in and no belt. And I've said this about tucking in a t-shirt. Like, if you tuck in a t-shirt, it doesn't mean you're a serial killer. But all the serial killers tuck in their t-shirts.
Yeah.
It's the same thing if you're wearing blue jeans with a tucked-in shirt with no belt.
yeah.
Like, you got to have a belt. I don't understand. He's got all the other accoutrements of the leather jacket, shoes. Why not have a belt? And he's wearing these high-waisted mom jeans. Like, I don't know.
Maybe that's why he doesn't wear a belt. Like, if he pulled his pants all the way up, he's just all legs.
I think they are pulled all the way up. Like, the top of his waistband is definitely resting on his bottom rib.
They're up there.
He's so old.
So
I think he's 63 or something.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, he looks it.
But he puts himself where he's supposed to be like a young man in the movies, and he doesn't. I don't know.
It's too late. It's too late for you, Breen. You missed the boat.
You're no Seagal, my friend.
So it freeze frames on the two Breens again for way too long of a beat. And Cade says, his flame was put out, but I still loved him as a brother, even though we're both now humanoids.
He doesn't know what that means.
No. He says the superior entity continued to give him powers, and it shows more like stock science-y shit, and it's got that 3D X-ray effect human like running, and it's like he's built like Captain America. I'm like,
yeah, I was like, he's jacked.
Old fucking reptile, you wish. And so, okay, here we go. Here's my... It cuts from this to layers and layers of stock footage that I can barely begin to describe, but I'm going to try. So, okay, bottom layer is a hospital room. Easy enough. There's just a still frame of a hospital room. Then a layer up from that is a group of surgeons all huddled up. You've seen that in movies where they're all like huddled in a circle around a patient, like doing stuff.
Right.
And just keep that in mind. They're there. Then in front of them is Breen, dressed as a doctor with a fucking t-shirt on under his lab coat. And next to him is a female doctor, and they couldn't look like they're more from two separate sources. She's high def, he's not. She's lit well, he's not. And in front of them is a high-tech translucent screen with just medical visual gibberish all over it. You know, the 3D heart rotating and grids and numbers and a little spinning dude. That kind of nonsense. But here's the rub. The aforementioned surgeons, while behind them, are confined to the frame of the screen. You can see the border of their stock footage cutting their heads off, just floating in space behind them.
Also, she is obviously manipulating the things on the screen.
Yes.
And he lifts his hand up to do something and is nowhere near the screen. And then he just puts it back down again.
He misses the fucking screen and just puts his hand down. He just took all this shit, hit free transform, and just shrunk it enough and just stacked it all up.
What I don't get is, like, how can you be... That's why I really think that something's wrong here. Like, you had to watch all this to make it happen. Yeah. Like, you can't say, yeah, you know what, that's fucked up, let me try it again.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant.
Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant with the philosophy?
He just pays for the After Effects. He doesn't know how to use it.
Oh, okay. Well, now that makes sense. Yes. Okay.
Oh, yeah. This part broke me. I spent a good 10 minutes just watching this one little section over and over, making sense of the nonsense. So he says that he's approaching a robotic humanoid state with synthetic brain power. And it's him overlaid over the stock footage of robots unscrewing their heads and switching them with each other.
Yeah, I think that he took like all his major plot points just by whatever stock footage he could find, because this had nothing to do with anything.
Neither did the slow motion eagle that's about to happen.
Oh, God.
The eagle's a metaphor. That's a direct quote from Neil Breen.
For what? For what, though?
Did he elaborate?
Absolutely not.
Because I'm on the edge of my fucking seat over here.
He didn't. That's hilarious.
He's like David Lynch. He will not elaborate.
Oh my God.
It's a metaphor. A metaphor for what? Whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slow-mo eagle, super slow-mo eagle, comes flying in and lands on a post that he's superimposed in front of with his hands up like he's petting this eagle.
And he's like looking at what the eagle's trying to eat. What a fucking idiot.
What you got there? Tasty mouse.
Fucking moron.
I now have the power to totally vibe with eagles.
He says,
Which, once again, has nothing to do with anything.
he says, AI will never replace the majesty of this badass fucking eagle.
Yeah.
And this goddamn whole movie's going to be in slow motion. So
even the regular motions are in slow motion because it's him in it.
yeah. Yeah, we cut. Okay, now it's about to pop off here. Cut to Breen, quote unquote, outside a building, where he's walking by, and there's another person in the stock footage walking by, and he has to greet them.
Yeah,
and the person just ghosts him, and I don't know how to describe his manner of walking here. He just kind of breens down the streets.
I don't know.
It's kind of like the Sasquatch footage.
Yes. So what this is, okay. Everybody, like you always hear actors say, one of the hardest things to do is to walk naturally. It looks like he's doing a parody of somebody trying to walk naturally that can't.
It's like a creep almost.
Yeah, he's got a creep.
Yeah, it's a creep.
Yeah, he's a creep.
So he creeps down the street, and then he kind of crouches a little bit, and then launches like a fucking rocket, just Superman, up to an open window, and he goes from 0 to 60 to 0.
Yeah, but mind you, none of these things exist. Yeah. Like, this is just him superimposed on stock footage of things.
It looks about as good as you're imagining it right now, folks. So
he flies multiple times in the movie, and he never decided to film a second version of his flight.
He did like, okay, I was saying the same thing. The very last time he does it, it's a different one, and it was way better. At the very end of the movie, he comes down from something, and he's got a totally different pose, and you can actually see the wind going through his hair.
Damn.
And I was like, why the fuck didn't you do that?
Because that was an accident. I meant to close that window. So, he launches up to the window, he goes in, and he comes in, and he interacts with a still frame of a bunch of Marines. He comes to the door and he tells them, follow me. They can't hurt me. You won't get hurt. Follow me. And he does this all without opening his mouth.
Yeah, so, that's the thing that happens a lot is, so the movie does have like an inner monologue, like voiceover type thing that happens a lot. But there's also moments that I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be like ADR in the scene or it was supposed to be voiceover. So like there were parts that were very confusing.
Yep, and no one knows. And I can't even say no one knows but him, because I don't think he knows either.
I don't think he knows either.
He might know.
But then, like, when he starts walking forward or shuffling or breening, whatever, he gets like a few feet and then they hit play on the footage.
Yeah.
And the Marines start going too.
But not until he walks past one of the Marines already frozen, bigger than him.
Right, because then it would have just looked silly.
So my question here was whether or not the freeze frame was supposed to be the soldiers all standing still, or if he's able to freeze time, or something.
Yeah.
Oh God. It's because he couldn't figure out another way to do it. That's
exactly. That stock footage of those Marines, they weren't standing still at the beginning long enough for him to get out that important information. So they unfreeze, and the left side of the screen in particular starts blowing the hell up. Yes. Fuck the left side of the screen.
With the same explosion over and over.
So, Breen, he comes in, sees the Marines, says, "Follow me. They can't hurt you. They can't hurt me. Follow me and you won't get hurt." He walks past them. The shit starts blowing up, and he just dips out the same window and leaves them behind.
Right. But they never explain or show, like, what he's doing.
No.
He just walks through things and things explode.
It's like there's this old geriatric superhero that just stumbled into a war zone. He's not really contributing anything. He's just invincible and in the way.
Yeah, and then everything blows up, and he's like, "I did it."
Yeah, I'm a hero. They make a point to, like, when he can have a gun and can't have a gun and all that. It's like he never uses it.
Yeah.
He's not going in there with a gun. He's going in there and just...
According to the next scene, he was strapped during this.
Oh, well, I'll get to that.
Okay, so, he scurries out the window and zips back down to the ground as the building fucking erupts in an explosion. But the soldiers are fine, because we cut to another shot of stock footage where they're coming out of a doorway, and they freeze again, and he comes out and says, Wait, let me go first. I'll protect you, follow me. And he shuffles around, trying to make it look like he's walking through this stock footage setting. And the way these lines are being delivered, it's like they made a Neil Breen doll with a little pull string that says random crap, and they just use that to do all the lines.
And anytime he walks into a scene, he always looks like he doesn't know where he's at.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because obviously he doesn't know where he's at in the stock footage.
Yeah.
But it's like he'll take a step and he looks around no matter what.
Yeah, his default acting is just kind of like looking around.
Right. This guy.
So, we cut from that to a bombed out building, and he comes wandering out of the wreckage. It's another defeat for the forces of evil. I am unstoppable, and I fully accept these abilities. What did you do?
What did you do?
It looks like it all blew up because of you, but who knows?
And then he just old man shuffles through the composite scene. So now we cut to some random building where there's this old woman in an executive looking office, and she's on the phone. Well done. I'll see you back at headquarters. Scene.
Did we already pass a scene where they had like some people around a boardroom table and they're discussing?
We're getting there.
Okay, good. Good.
So, cut to stock footage of a private jet. It's freeze framed.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
He walks in, walks up, gets down, sits in a seat, and
I was pretty impressed with him sitting in the seat. Only because I know that he had a chair there with an armrest that he just had to throw green fabric over.
Yeah.
he got pretty close in that shot.
It was that of all the composite shots, this was probably the best one.
It's like, okay, because he took the time to do it.
Yeah.
Why didn't you take the time with everything else?
He sits down in the chair and he gives this big creepy smile before some random woman walks on the plane and looks dead ass at the camera and smiles.
Yeah, because this was like for it was for a commercial about private planes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, but that's just an absolutely baffling choice. Why not just use the freeze frame instead of letting it roll and have a random person stroll into the scene?
I love flying on planes with this woman.
Yeah.
Then he says, "This is the advantage of me being alone. I don't need special forces. I am the weapon."
It's like a child is like a daydreaming child. That's what it is.
Yep. So, back at headquarters, for a really long establishing shot of the building we just saw 5 seconds ago, Breen enters and starts taking off all his guns he didn't use, taking out the clips haphazardly and just tossing them into a pile.
Here's the thing. What got me the most was nobody has total disregard for their weapons like that.
Yeah, it's like these are trash, and he's just throwing them off.
He takes the clip out and he throws it, and then he'll just throw the gun on top of things, and it's scratching everything up, and you can hear them you wouldn't it's gonna fuck up your gun. You won't get scratches out. You want to take care of it. But the biggest thing to me was it's one of two things. There's either a bullet still in the chamber, or he never racked one to go on his mission.
In which case, why do you even have them?
Either way, it's unacceptable. Because if there's one in the chamber and you're just throwing the gun around all over the place, that's stupid. Or you went on a mission and never racked one, then what was the point of having it?
Yeah. And he's got this whole body harness with these guns, like he's Max Payne or some shit. He didn't have any of that in the previous scene.
My favorite part about the scene is his sort of casual attitude. He's all taking his guns off and stuff, and his boss is like, "Are you ready for a new mission?" And he kind of starts to have a character, but it's like Norm Macdonald's version of Burt Reynolds. He's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Guns.
Yeah, that's right.
Plenty of guns.
Turd Ferguson.
So after he pulled out the first gun, I said, okay. And then he reached in and pulled out another one. And then I was just thinking, okay, how many more guns is he going to pull out? Luckily, he only pulled out 2. But if he would have just pulled out the one on the ankle and all that, I would have been like, what the fuck?
It was one too many to
funny, though.
It was one too many to be realistic, and it wasn't enough to be comical.
Yes, exactly.
Right in that sweet spot of the worst possible choice.
So, after he disarms, the lady says, "Oh, you should probably take a vacation now that your mission's over." He says, "Yeah, I don't need that." She goes, "Oh, yes, that's right. You're a special kind that doesn't need it, but you should try it sometime." And that's when she asks if he's ready for the next mission, and she produces a mini wormhole in her hand and floats it over to him. And she says that this is the version of programmable virtual reality, the corrupt version.
Well, that's what made me angry, because they bring that up again, this programmable virtual reality, as if that's something crazy. All virtual reality is programmable. All of it.
But this is the corrupt kind.
But they brought it up multiple times. Like, well, this is virtual reality that's totally programmable. What the fuck you think virtual reality is?
I love this shit. I love the word salad of the technical terms or whatever, and then every once in a while it'll be just a thing that exists.
Well, yeah, they'll just have a shot of a pipe, and he's like, humans have always evolved, and then that's it.
Oh man, artificial intelligence, a worldwide internet,
deep learning computers,
digital clocks, electronic mail, holographic Tupac.
E-Bombs World. No, the corrupt version of virtual reality is the one that's filled with all those Ugandan knuckles.
Mm-hmm. Why can't we go back to a simpler time?
So, It shows him, we cut from that to him again at another control panel with another doctor, and this time his sideburns are out of control.
He has the weirdest consistency of hair I've ever seen on a person. It's like so thick and thin at the same time.
Yeah, it's like cotton candy, but it's dense.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it's styled like a grandma's hair. So we cut from that to him in an empty lecture hall where he says he misses his brother and misses what he never knew. I don't know what that means. There's a quick...
How could you know it? How could you miss it if you never knew it?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a quick shot.
Good point.
There's a quick shot of a lone hooded figure in an abandoned house. And I can't really predict if this will have any relevance on the movie at this point going forward.
I thought that they were about to rescue some runaway teenager or something.
Yeah. Which is probably what that footage was. It was like runaway teens or like drug addict depression or something. But so cut to a boardroom. Here we go, Blake.
Yeah, they bring it up again in there.
Where there's a bunch of execs sitting and they're discussing the crisis that is programmable virtual reality. And it's just, they're just taking turns saying a random thing that has nothing to do with what the previous person said.
Yeah, it just, every time I heard programmable virtual reality, I'd throw my pen in the air and be like, what the fuck are we doing?
One guy says, we have evidence of the biggest cyber and terrorist attack ever planned. And the next man says, programmable DNA. Then the next woman says, this is very serious. And you just, just know that all these actors wanted to say these lines not like a psychopath. Right. He insisted they deliver these lines this way, because I can't believe he got a room full of people that all talk like him.
I wonder how many takes he did with this compared to the amount of takes he did for him jumping to fly.
To make sure they all said it exactly the way he wanted to, with just the right cockamamie inflection.
Yeah, like I can only imagine that he has like the Peter Jackson approach of we're going to do way too many takes to make sure we get every different kind, but every time he's just saying, no, more like a robot. And then the next time, no, more like a robot.
Pretend you heard nothing the last two people said.
And be really late on your delivery.
Louder, more awkward.
Longer pause.
So then it's just more, more word salad. Homeland Security is ready. We're on the verge of mind hacking. Programmable matter.
Cellular telephones.
Stuffed crust pizza.
You saw that asshole Papa John's putting pepperoni in the stuffed crust pizza now?
Yeah.
What a fucking dickhead.
Just putting a pizza inside the pizza.
What an asshole.
The trick is with ours, you take the pizza and flip it over, and there's another pizza underneath it.
And if you look real close, we've written racial slurs into the dough.
That's Papa John's.
What happened to him? He
more
was
racial slurs.
The last I heard about him is he was like giving out these cryptic messages, like he was going to like attack like all the Papa John's pizza chains, and nothing ever came from it.
I think like the last I had heard that he was going to like some kind of like racial rehab.
Yeah.
To where like to like reprogram his brain to not say horrible things about other races. Like, so I don't know, like a conversion camp. I don't know what. But that's the last I heard. But like he had to do that to like keep getting that sweet pepperoni money or something.
I think he had to step down as like CEO or
I don't think
he definitely has to step
got
down,
kicked out of the board or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think he's part of it anymore. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows?
But
We'll
anyway.
do a deep dive on Papa John next time.
Yeah.
So we cut back to Cade, and he's walking through a crowd, but he's not really. And he's scanning them because he can do that too. He's the fucking Terminator.
This is like this is the only power that he actually defines in the movie.
Yeah.
He says he has instant facial recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terminator was a cool movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie, man.
Just saying. I'd like to watch Terminator.
It shows him looking at a bunch of skulls, and he's talking about the evolution of the human species, and he tries to do this fancy dissolve where he puts his hand out and stands perfectly still, and then the skull is supposed to appear in his hand, but he fucked it all up. So, like the pose he's in and the pose he winds up in are totally different, and it's really obvious.
Yeah.
So now
he's doing his best, Chase.
John, our movie was better than this.
I beg to differ. No, y'all's
Tough
you
but
know
fair.
y'all's was better than this.
Ours had a plot.
I was about to say it had a plot, and y'all tried. I'm sure y'all tried more than one take on things.
Yes.
We did.
Yes, we did. We did a lot of takes. There were some takes we couldn't use because I was laughing too much. We just had abandoned scenes sometimes.
I would love to see the bloopers on this movie.
That was fun times. Yeah, I don't know where those tapes are.
No. Oh, you mean on this movie?
Yeah, on this movie. I'd love to see the bloopers
yeah.
on this one.
There are no bloopers. A wizard doesn't make bloopers.
I'm sure, like,
God makes no mistakes.
somebody has to have, like, a cell phone video of them, like, all talking shit about, like, how stupid this is.
Yeah.
Like, without him around or something.
I did see.
We should write an email to one of the actors.
That had a little clip of the lady that plays, what's her name, Alana, his girlfriend.
His wife, yeah, his girlfriend.
And she was, all it was she was talking about, like, she's making a movie or whatever, but she looks miserable. She's got, like, her hand on her forehead or whatever.
There's your next interview target, John.
Oh, shit. I did find her Instagram.
Yeah.
So,
Well.
all right. So next, Cade is walking, looking at his phone, and okay, again, we don't know what's about to happen, so just take the ride with me. He's looking at his phone, and this woman like this businesswoman is walking opposite him. She's going one way, he's going the other, and this homeless guy's like, "What do you want from me?"
Uh-huh.
They bump into each other and collide, and they drop everything, and he instantly is like, let's go out for a drink. I'll make it up for you. You're so beautiful. Let's go out for a drink real quick. Come on, meet me back here at 8. We'll go out for a drink. Like, dude, slow the fuck down.
Yeah. And find a better place to meet. Meet me in front of the hobo at 8.
Don't worry, he'll still be here.
It's the nearest landmark. It's the homeless
Him
guy.
and his fake rats.
So she hurries away with her finger on the mace button and her rape whistle in her mouth as Breen looks to the homeless guy and says, "Wow, she was gorgeous. I bet she comes back at 8. And he throws some change at the homeless guy and leaves. So while that happens, a figure dressed in all black walks by and ghosts the homeless dude. Oh, he's back. He's back from the other movie.
It's Death.
Oh, yeah.
But Neil Breen's gait is so recognizable that you're just like, oh, it's just Breen in a trench coat.
Yeah. He's got that Dr. Farnsworth walk where his feet don't leave the ground.
Death is just 2 Breens in a trench coat.
So later, Cade returns and the woman does not. And he gives the homeless guy some change and leaves again. I was really hoping that he would decide to take the homeless guy out for a drink and they'd partner up for some wacky hijinks. But no.
Yeah.
That'd be a good movie.
That would have been the movie.
And the homeless guy would like try to take the rats with him, and then Breen would be like, "No, homeless man, those rats are fake," and that would destroy his entire world.
Here's where the movie takes a turn that I did not appreciate him doing. This isn't fair. This is not fair. Okay. So he's wandering around at night, and then in voiceover he says, "Hey, there's the girl from earlier. I'm going to go follow her." And so he's following her through the night. Breen likes to use the Larry David method of writing where he puts real-life events that happened to him into his work. He accosts a woman, follows her home, skulks around her house, and breaks in. So he goes into her house where she's in there, and he corners her in her home and says, "I'm going to hurt you now. You should have never ignored me."
First off, who chops vegetables in the fucking dark? That was the most ridiculous part of the scene for me. Not anything else. She's chopping vegetables in the just pitch dark kitchen.
Well, this is all an elaborate. We're getting to it. Mm-hmm. So then the assault begins, and they kind of sort of grope each other on the couch, and it's horrifying.
Oh God,
it's very cringy.
He's wrapping. He's always got his arm right across her tits, and he's like pawing at her thighs a lot. And there's this framed painting just lying on the couch. And she grabs it and busts him over the head with it, with the frame hanging around his neck like he's in a fucking Mel Brooks fight scene.
Like it was straight Tom and Jerry.
Yeah. So the whole time this really ominous music's playing, and there's random pepperings of a disembodied bitch throughout the whole fight.
Yeah, it was like that was the
bitch.
The inner monologue, I guess.
As he's just there wrapping his cephalopod body around her. And she eventually submits. And here we go. He finally gets her down and she quits fighting. And he goes, "So what's for dinner?" And she coyly answers, "Your favorite. By the way, Mom called."
No. I can't. This super powerful, like super intelligent part robot product of some undefined all-powerful force does elaborate rape fantasies with his girlfriend, but like only the part where he stalks and attacks her and calls her a bitch, and then they stop and cuddle and talk about her mom called.
I'm about to say, whose mom? Her mom?
This is not how you do.
Not his mom.
This is not how you work a bait and switch. No. Remember in Last House?
That's not a rape
Last
fantasy.
House on the left, after all the brutal torture rape, you find out that they're all married and just into this stuff? No, that's not how this works.
Or, what was that movie? Four Christmases. They did it better.
I didn't see Four Christmases.
Well, they did it, where they like the dude like tries to pick up his own wife at the bar.
Nice.
I did that once. And,
once.
Me, can't take nothing serious. It was like, what do you do, secret agent?
Secret agent.
Yep, romance.
So, and by the way, he misses his brother. We gotta put that in there right after the fake rape. Another shot of the Man in Black as he exchanges some, I don't know, modeling clay with someone.
Well, yeah, I don't know what it was.
Some men, it seems like men from the boardroom earlier come out of a building, and this guy in a hoodie runs up and pulls a gun, and he takes him away, and it's Breen. Of course it's Breen.
Yeah.
Later, we cut in this little time jump, and the men are all like hacking and wheezing in this dark room, and they got
so much man groaning.
Yeah, he gave them the direction. Okay, everyone sound like you're jerking off.
Yes, without a doubt.
This is like, Jesus Christ!
We've been in here so long. That was an actual line.
Yeah. And the chains that they have that they're tied up with, Blake, how would you describe the quality of these chains?
Okay, this is like decoration chains. And if they wanted to escape, all they'd have to do is duck down, because it's not tied around their neck or anything.
No.
But they'll pretend like they're hanging. But all they'd have to do is like duck and scoot out from under it. Like there's nothing holding them there at all.
Yeah.
And the unconvincing fake blood all over the place.
Oh yeah, it's budget Dexter's Kill Room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was terrible.
So yeah, they're up against a wall with plastic over it and blood sprayed everywhere, and it's the most Halloween haunted house looking shit it could be.
I've seen better garage Halloween setups than this.
Yeah. And one of the guys, I swear to Christ, his mustache is drawn onto a couple pieces of Scotch tape.
100%.
I can think of no other way they did the effect.
He took a Sharpie, did a little jaggly line on like Homer's head hair.
Yeah.
On a piece of Scotch tape and just put it on his upper lip. Mustache.
Which, believe it or not, isn't the worst fake facial hair in the movie.
Yes. So the gunman enters and tells him that he's going to hold him there for all the crimes they've committed against the public. And one of the men says, "I'm an attorney, and I'm going to see that you're put in jail for the rest of your life." So the man shoots him in the shoulder, and a little Super Mario explosion comes out of the gun.
Yeah. And then they start like confessing all their crimes for some reason.
Yeah,
to each other who know what crimes they've committed. Like, oh, remember that time we embezzled the money from the old people? Oh, what about the time we did this? What is this crap?
Yeah, it's more like people finding, I am resigning from the bank.
I'm resigning as president of the bank. I just knew committing every crime was going to come back to bite us.
Insurance scams.
They list 9 separate crimes that they committed numerous times. These guys belong in the electric chair. Like, they deserve this.
Yeah. So,
or just, white collar federal prison.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Human trafficking is on there. They
forgot about the human trafficking
on there.
Yeah, I forgot about the human trafficking part.
And yeah, so one of them catches a bullet bill in the shoulder. No blood. So the man, the assailant then shoots the other two in the shoulder and tells them, "Hang here and rot, you scum." And the music kicks up a notch as the film dissolves to show more and more men being added to the room. Only it's the same 3 men, just copy and paste it over again.
God.
What is up with this shit?
And it's all from this one shot, too. Like, he didn't even bother to get a couple extra, different shots of these same guys.
The same guy is standing next to himself.
But they never show where he got more people. Because they keep going back to these same 3 guys.
These guys aren't even dead. They just come back again. I don't understand what he's doing right here.
And look,
you've had your finger on the pulse of this for so long.
If you can't make a good looking effort to shoot somebody, don't put it in the movie. But to shoot somebody in the shoulder to shoot somebody in the shoulder point blank range and it does nothing.
Yeah. Why
even put it in there?
Well, it was in the script that he also wrote.
So we cut from the kill room to Cade and his wife/girlfriend, whatever, and they're getting into an elevator, and it closes on them, and when it opens, they're in each other's arms, and then they quickly get out of each other's arms and look around embarrassed, like we, the audience, caught them.
Well, the elevator never moved because there's the floor 1 symbol with the star next to it.
Yeah.
The elevator closes, and like you could tell there's a cut there, and the door opens, but it's still on the first floor again.
Yeah, we're not allowed on the second floor.
Can't go up there. But yeah, I love this gag where they're just like, it opens and they're just kind of like awkwardly hugging, but they act like they were caught in the middle of like full penetrative sex.
Oh shit!
And here's the
like, readjust.
I don't know why, but just the way the term the full penetrative sex, like that's funny. That's another one that I'm gonna go ask my wife. Interested in some full penetrative sex. I can bring that back since we're back now. Just using lines from movies and whatnot and see if they work.
Yeah, there you go. So, look at the bright side.
Yeah, next episode I'll give you the update of what happens when I said, hey, for some full penetrative sex?
So
it might work.
She responded, no.
She responded with deep learning computer.
Hitachi
programmable
wand.
DNA. So we cut back to the man in the hoodie, shooting more businessmen on some steps. He picks up the round casing, but drops a syringe before slinking off into the night.
At first, I thought he was planting the syringe, and I was like, nobody's gonna believe that they overdosed when they have like bullets in their heads.
So wait. He didn't leave it on purpose?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so
leaving
either.
It on purpose.
Because
to what end?
Well, that's what I was saying. Why are you picking up the casings if you're going to leave something else with that you've touched? Just leave it all there. I don't know.
I have to assume that it was an accident.
Yeah. So we cut from that back to Cade and his wife. It's established that they work together at this place. And Cade tells her, come on, follow me into this empty study hall because we've got some free time. Wink, wink. And they go in there and they embrace and they half kiss. And then he kisses her on the forehead and walks away. Sex completed.
So hot.
Now we know why those three guys chained up were all hot and bothered.
Nice.
So long.
That's how it works, right? I'm going to leave. I'm going to let you lay the eggs. I'm going to come back and fertilize them.
You know, human sex.
Yeah. Humanoid sex.
Encroaching on 30 minutes into the movie. Still no plot to be seen. Call to action? I'll call you an asshole. So, cut to a cop, maybe? He's in street clothes, for God's sake. He's on the phone talking about how they got a report of 3 missing men being followed by a man in a hoodie. And then we cut to that cop arriving on the scene of those men on the stairs. And he says, looks like the other missing men. Another clean scene. And he turns to walk away, does a double take, and says out loud, "What did I just see?"
Give this man an Oscar.
So natural.
He picks up the syringe, and he really struggles with getting it into this sandwich bag.
Yeah, he does. Like they didn't measure it first, so the bag won't close around it.
He got those mini bags that's meant for like trail mix, not for a whole sandwich.
Right.
Breen skipped again.
So, cut back to Cade with the old boss lady, where she tells him that they have evidence of the largest cyber terror attack ever planned. Scene.
But is it a cyber attack if it's never happened?
Yeah, they're planning it.
Just saying.
I don't know. And he keeps interjecting all these random shots of tech and saying something random about AI.
That's the majority of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only because he's supposed to be AI or something.
But he's not.
Yeah,
That's why this is like...
You can't be AI if you were already a sentient being.
Yeah.
You can't just stick the A on the I and call it A.
This is why we quit doing this shit, fellas.
So,
artificial eyelashes.
Yeah. Back with Detective Cop. He's still on the phone where he delivers the information that these men all have several corporate lawsuits and legal actions pending against them. And another scene in the books. Cut to the local children's museum where we see some guy playing with the topography sand exhibit.
Those are pretty fun.
They are fun, meant for children. We back away and see that it's one of the men from earlier that was shot, but playing a different man, wearing the other guy's scotch tape mustache on his face.
Right. And who is this man? I dare interview to tell me who he is.
Nope. He says on the phone that it's another. It looks like it's another vigilante justice kidnapping. Is he talking to the cop? I don't know.
Is he a cop?
Yeah, I think he's some kind of other cop.
Yeah, I guess.
Officer detective.
I was really confused of who was on what side through this whole thing.
Yeah, well, at this point, I was saying, okay, he's talking to the cop because they just showed the cop talking, and then they cut to this guy talking. But like an hour's gonna go by, and we're gonna go back to that cop still on the same fucking conversation. So right. I don't think it was him.
Days later, no, he is a detective because there are two detectives in the credits credited as detective.
Yes, the two detectives.
Hold on, because they had another detective.
Who?
That was with the other guy on the street. There's a black guy, right?
Oh, I can't remember. Was there?
I thought that guy was one of them.
But see, that's the thing. Who the fuck knows?
This thing is completely impenetrable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back to Cade and his wife. He walks her up to a building with rows and rows of empty steel tables and chairs and declares, "I reserved this entire restaurant just for us. The food is excellent. The service is great. It's just friggin' invisible. Ha 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 ha."
I didn't understand what was going on here.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
Like, was that just a way to explain away the empty restaurant they're in? Or, like, I don't know.
This entire movie was shot at 2 a.m. in one sitting.
Yeah, you're right.
So he gives her a candle as a gift and lights it. She tells him, "Oh, eternal and always." And
No. That candle's gonna go away.
So cut to Cade walking by that building that was a war zone earlier. When the hooded man walks up to him, the camera pans up, but the background keeps on panning after the camera holds on them. Cade says, "I knew it was you, Kale." And the hooded man pulls back the hood and, oh boy, it's Breen, wearing a beard and mustache that looks like it's sculpted out of wood.
It's pretty bad.
So in the Q&A I watched, he did comment on this. I was talking about how you like have to exaggerate for things to work. He's like, yeah, I could have just done a mustache, but that's not enough.
What? What?
Why doesn't anybody call him on this shit?
Because they're... this is the part of me that kind of feels bad for him, because they're in like full character the whole time they're talking to him, you know? Like they're not giving away the game that they're laughing at him.
Yeah.
Nobody gives away the game.
Somebody needs to laugh at him. We need to go to one of these things and ask the question, what's the deal with the eagle? That's a metaphor. A metaphor for what? And just stare at him and wait. And if he tries to give some bullshit answer, say, no, you didn't answer the question.
But what was your intent?
What's it a metaphor?
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me. Tell me, like, specifically what it is. And then just stare at him and wait.
Stare at him and just start cracking your knuckles.
Yeah.
Kale says that we're different. I don't have what you have. And Cade says, you could have, but you threw it away. And Kale says, it was taken from me. And then Cade puts his hand on Kale's shoulder in really slow motion for some damn reason. They never make eye contact.
No, the eye lines are garbage.
The eye lines are a mess.
But Kale is right. It was taken away from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. That's true. But did he throw it all away because of his methods?
I don't know. We never got to see his methods.
So, cut to Cade looking at himself in a mirror, and the reflection slowly grows that wooden beard. And then Cade walks away, but the reflection of Kale stays in the mirror, and then the mirror shatters itself and falls on the floor. And then Cade comes back and starts like flopping through all the pieces.
And mirrors don't break that way.
Throwing stuff around.
It was like somebody poured a broken mirror down.
Yeah. A bucket of broken mirror on the floor.
Yeah.
Then it's time for another disjointed one-sentence speech about AI, about how it passes human intelligence. It thinks, it dreams, and creates.
No, it doesn't.
Cut back to the Scotch tape mustache man, still talking on the phone. Everyone in this movie's always on the phone. He's talking about how the DNA fingerprints aren't human or something, and he keeps intercutting with the cop on the phone, but they show the other cop, but the other cop never speaks. It just shows him on the phone, and it cuts back to the other guy talking.
I don't know. Though there's so many things with this movie, I have no fucking clue what was going on.
When you're shooting a two-sided phone call and you cut to the other person, he should talk.
Like, Neil Breen didn't go to any fancy film school.
Or unless it's a metaphor.
Yeah. Yeah, he may not have gone to a film school, but I'm sure he's seen a movie.
I'm not so sure.
Debatable.
I've never gone to film school, and I would know to have the guy talk on the phone. Because if not, it's just a monologue.
Yeah. I mean, another thing from the Q&A is that he flat out refuses to talk about his influences. He just says he's a film buff, but he will not mention any films that had any influence on him at all. So
See, I would press on that.
Which is super funny. It was like, I got a girlfriend. She's not here right now.
Yeah, she lives in Canada.
Not even a movie that is an influence. Just name a movie that you've seen.
You know what he would say? Like, if you're at the Twisted Pair Q&A session, name a movie. Fateful Findings. Fuck.
Damn it, Breen.
He was you would never have heard of it.
I may not talk about it. I may not go into detail. I just need to ask you. I'm going to tell y'all about when I did a Q&A with William Shatner, and I'm pissed off all the Trekkie nerds.
I want to say you told it to me before. I don't know about the context of the podcast.
Anyway, that's fucking happened. because I don't give a shit. Maybe at the end of the show we'll talk about it or something.
Yeah. That
remind me.
And Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Yeah, just remind me.
Yeah. So we cut back to Kale's place where he's with a woman and they're drinking and pilling their sorrows away. Kale comes in, he's got the money, and they squabble over it, and he says, take it, and he throws it at her, to which she slaps him in the face, and it makes like a Fatal Fury punch noise when it hits him.
It
even has a male grunt on the back end of it.
Yes.
Oh! And it's the lightest slap in the world. It's so jarring.
And then he hits her once and it doesn't make the sound, and then he hits her again and it does.
It does.
What is that choice? What is that about?
So
I don't know.
She yells at him, I don't want you anymore. I just want the drugs and the money. And so that's when he slaps her and makes the dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
He says, we're both fucked up. She says, I don't care. And she falls off the bed.
That was funny. She just slid off the bed.
Just like a seal sliding into the ocean.
It was so funny. There was a couple times that I laughed my ass off in this movie, and that was one.
That's definitely one of the biggest laughs for me.
Yeah. So we cut from that to somewhere as a cop stakes out Kale's place, and there's blue and red lights flashing everywhere. It's not exactly, subtle. Kale shuffles out as fast as a geriatric lizard can, and the cop's in close pursuit. I mean, you can't describe his run any better than shuffling.
This was the other time that I laughed too. This high speed foot pursuit.
He's not losing anybody.
And it is, you're right, it's like Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like whatever, there's one thing of Futurama where he's like, to the lab, and he starts shuffling and everybody passes him up.
Yeah.
Like, it's exactly what it is.
He's not losing anything except bone density.
Neil Breen has no bones. He's like a hydrostatic being, like a shark or something.
Nice.
Yeah, he's like a dinosaur. It's full of air sacs and hollows.
Yeah, there we go.
So, cut to the kill room. So he did lose the cop. Cut to the kill room where the three execs are still chained up, and he comes in and he says, you've been here for 2 days, and you have a lot more to go. Another scene, done.
But then his I don't know if it's interrogation methods, but his torture methods, he tells him, I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Well, right then I'd be like, all right, well, the fear's gone then.
It's psychological torture.
But then he eventually kills him anyway, which means he's a fucking liar. Spoiler alert.
Now,
not only is he a murderer, he's a goddamn liar.
And now we're going to cut to, I don't know, probably the best character ever created for a fictional anything.
Yes.
We just cut to a bowl of precious, precious plastic diamonds.
Yeah.
I looked these up. You can get like 300 of them for $15.
Nice.
So we pull back and we see what Breen thinks a rich person looks like. And it's a guy, he's wearing all black and a beret and orange glasses, and he's got a curtain around his neck like a scarf, and he's holding a bowl of diamonds on this glass table with 3 shocked cats on toilets or something.
Yeah.
And the film starts to dissolve, and his curtain scarf just keeps changing into different ones.
What is this supposed to mean?
I've got nothing on this one.
Like, does he have superpowers, but his superpower is to change clothes?
I don't know, but the 3 shitting cats are looking dead at the camera now.
Right now, they are.
Like, you see that shit?
Yeah, the cats eventually start to spin around and look at each other like, we're as confused as you are, folks.
Yeah. And see, that's where I spent way too much time going back to the 3 candles in the swamp. Like, surely this has to jive somewhere together.
No.
But it doesn't.
No. So his scarves keep changing, and we find out that this guy's name is Coos.
Yeah, Coos. Isn't that what Tony Soprano called his neighbor?
Yeah. Cusimano. Yeah.
Yeah, Coos.
So, Cade says Coos' empire is planning to take over the Earth, and he's going to use his cyber control of humanity's life support systems. Oh, no! And he says,
what the fuck does that mean?
What life support systems?
He says, a feat not hard to accomplish with today's technology. Well, that's bad.
Care to go into more detail, though?
So we cut back to the headquarters, and the boss lady gives Cade his documents for the next mission, and she instructs him on his fake identity, and he tells him not to take his weapon, which he clarifies to the audience as he leaves. I am the weapon.
Right, which, then why'd you need him in the first place? And he was way too creepily happy when she was like, oh, you're like an art buyer or whatever, and like, he just, this weird reptile smile came across his face.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very weird.
Always wanted to be an art buyer.
So we cut back to Coos, and he's talking on his phone about being able to communicate telepathically, and he must be using voice mod because he sounds like he's role-playing an orc.
Yeah, that's an inside joke.
We started playing in the year we took off. We started playing Dungeons and Dragons, folks, and it's fantastic.
Look, it was real hard to come back to this shit. I'll tell you that.
Yes.
Anyway,
cut to Coos' house, where Cade walks up and rings the doorbell before just walking the fuck in. Meanwhile, in the backyard, Coos is sitting in a lawn chair in the dark backyard with his bowl of diamonds, and a fucking fairy woman apparates in a cloud of pixie dust before him.
Can anybody tell me what this is?
Well, she's credited as the Muse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can anybody tell me what this is?
And Coos makes special art. So
Special art.
But nobody ever acknowledges the fairy being there.
No.
Was it just there for us?
I don't know.
No, she holds the painting later, so I mean she's there.
She does hold the painting. Oh, at one point she tries to grab the painting too soon.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all caught that.
Not a professional actor.
No.
A real fairy would know when it's time.
Yeah.
To interact with the props. So, yeah, there's a fairy. Cade just walks up and introduces himself, and Coos says that he's heard Cade is highly recommended and asks Cade if he's interested in his art and his special projects. And the fairy lady looks around, questioning her life decisions, and Breen's looking her up and down, resisting the urge to extend his throat thrill in a display of virility. And
interested in full penetration sex.
He eventually sputters out, "Yes, I'm interested." And so they go inside, where Coos shows him the artwork, which is just an empty frame, and an image appears in it. And it's just stock footage of a woman who's painted herself to look like a flat painting, and then she moves. And
whoa.
And this is the part where the fairy lady accidentally tries to grab the painting too soon, and we get to watch her, Coos, and Cade all like exchange awkward glances while they try to figure out if they should cut or not.
Right. But then it was like the shittiest magic trick. Like the whole painting appearing and everything. There was no point. Like, I don't understand. It was just stupid. Like, it appears and then disappears. Like, holy shit. Like,
it's Coos'
we don't know how that
art.
was done.
It's special art. It's one of those tilty baseball cards.
Somebody saws a woman in half. Yeah, we know her legs are in the thing, and you pull it apart. Like, we understand. We get what's going on. It's not fucking amazing.
He's like, look, the eyes follow you.
You want to look through the image.
Yeah.
So, Can you find Waldo?
Yeah, exactly.
In my special art.
So, back in the yard, Cade asks Coos about his global takeover plan.
Yeah, way to blow your cover, asshole.
So, what's the deal? You got some global takeover plans?
I mean, I'm just a normal art buyer, but
you know, if you got any global takeover plans, I can probably help you out with that. Cade leaves, and he says he knows the level of Coos' danger and his superior means. Cut to Kale and his lady as they divvy up the drugs. One for me, one for you. Two for me, two for you.
And then what a gentleman. He gives her 2 extra ones.
Yeah, dude.
2 extra ones. There you go. That
king knows
OD's
how to
on
treat
me.
his queen.
That's right.
Cut to Cade and his wife outside on fucking Tatooine because there's about 3 moons in the sky.
See, a little inside baseball here. These 2 assholes watched the movie long before I did, so I saw them talking about it. They talked about the 2 moons in the sky, and then John
insulted my intelligence by telling me what it was about.
Yeah, saying it was supposed to be like the duality of Cade and Kale, and it was like that almost very close. I was about to send a text say, "All right, I'm out."
You can't just have 2 fucking moons in the sky.
And then it's the same moon, just different sizes, right next to each other.
Yeah.
So you didn't even make a different moon. At least, do like you did in the beginning, flip it or something.
If you want to compose a shot with like 2 statues facing each other, okay, that's more represent. You can't just put another fucking moon in the sky.
Yeah, you can't add celestial bodies to your fucking world here.
Y'all's vision is just too limited. Like
my vision's limited.
You're being too literal. This is art.
Yeah, it's art.
Christ,
I want to talk to Neil Breen so bad because I wouldn't play along
I know.
like everybody else.
So they're standing there, bathed in the moonlight of the 2 moons, and he tells her that she's brilliant, and she says that she can't dream of living without him. And back with Kale, him and his girl are doing shots and lining up some rails.
I know which relationship I'd rather be in.
Yeah, exactly.
She's sitting there with all these lines of coke, and she says, "I'm so content now. Oh, me too, babe. Now let's blast off."
I wish you would have slid off the chair right then, like she slid off the bed.
I'm going for a
the
swim.
coke lines over. So, cut to Coos, and he's saying something about swarm intelligence or something, and then
what the fuck was he saying? First off, I couldn't understand him the first time he said it, but luckily he said it again for some fucking reason.
Swarm intelligence. And then this is when the cats start to move.
Yeah.
This movie is so confounding, it's causing inanimate objects to become sentient so they can look at each other in bewilderment.
There's no other explanation.
So, cut to Cade telling Kale that he's here for him. And Kale says he's lost control. And another slow-mo shoulder touch, but mirrored this time, so it's different.
Yeah.
Cut to Cade entering a building, and he says he's breaking into a building. He says, "This is the center of the operation." What, for the production? Yeah, because it's the only building that you use in the movie. He sneaks in, and there's armed guards with gas masks and assault rifles in the area. And
they're all holding the guns wrong when they're showing them go up the stair, like the shots going up the stairs, and they're showing each guy. They're all holding the gun wrong.
My favorite part about this is Neil wearing the squeakiest shoes on earth, trying to sneak into this place, and he left all the audio in, just creaking around this place.
Yeah, and then at one point he bumps a chair.
Keep rolling.
He's a master ninja.
It'll add tension.
Yeah,
so
I like a challenge.
He sneaks past the guards and slips into a room where a pretty sweet LAN party is about to happen. And he says he has to stop Kuz's cyber war. With AI, fright and interest are not far from each other. Things become real in your mind, and you believe things you wouldn't ordinarily believe. And he sits down at a computer and stares at it, and then just gets up and fucking leaves.
Well, hold on. This was another part that I laughed at, because obviously he owned none of these computers, but he wanted to get up angrily, and he's supposed to shove the keyboard away from him, but he did it gingerly, so he wouldn't. He didn't want to break anything that he'd have to buy.
Yeah, he didn't have any of those brittle 1980s computers that he had in Fateful Findings that he could just smash over.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, he's got to be careful or he's going to get kicked out of this computer lab.
Yeah.
This community college.
He won't be able to film at the community college in Nevada anymore.
Right.
Cut to Cade's wife, and Kale is stalking her from the shadows. And we cut back to the exterior of the same building, and he's walking around outside, and we hear the board meeting from an hour ago play out as he's walking down the street.
Yeah, and they're talking about programmable virtual reality again.
It's the exact same lines. And Cade says that he can stop all of this himself. He doesn't need an army. He just needs to sneak into the same building he just fucking did in the last scene.
And they just use the same footage.
He sneaks back into the lobby, but instead of taking the stairs this time, he just Supermans up to the second floor. And the armed guards follow him, and they're way faster than him, and that didn't save any time. He sneaks around the various laboratories and enters one, and he says his Kuz's biological mutant warfare plans must be stopped. Oh, they're mutant now?
Did y'all notice he looks at one of the bottles, he looks at one of the bottles on the table, and it's labeled with a Sharpie, it just says H2O.
What is this?
Dear God.
Must be AI.
Fucking idiot.
So, more sneaking, more programmable matter, more I miss what I never knew. Okay, here. Cade takes off running down a hallway. And I have to believe that because he watched it back when he was editing, and it took him so long to get down this hallway, it was embarrassing. So he just cut the middle part out.
Right.
He starts running, and then it cuts, and he's at the end of the hallway.
No, that's his powers.
Oh, God.
So he goes into this next room where there's a bunch of guys.
Did he start unlocking the doors yet with his fucking ET finger yet?
His shining?
Yeah.
Has he?
I think he did a couple times. I think he did. Yeah. He just puts his hand over a door lock, and it's just a little After Effects little shine, flashlight, and it opens.
Yeah, he has ET fingers.
Yeah, but one of the doors, I think it's later, but there's a door where he. Yeah, okay. I'll explain when you get there. I'll remember.
So he enters this next room, and there's a bunch of guys dressed up like the Blues Brothers, and they're and that's not a joke. They are dressed to the number. Blues Brothers, the fucking fedoras, the Ray-Bans,
everything.
Blues Brothers,
a nest of Blues Brothers.
But they're wearing VR masks, and they get up from their computers and they walk away like robots. And he climbs some stairs, and he sees them all sitting down in a row, and he taps one of them, and I guess they're off. And he sneaks by, and we cut to a room where Cade walks in and he sits down with Coos and some of the blues bots, and then Coos just turns into Abe Vigoda for no reason.
A different actor now is playing Coos.
He was a younger guy, now he's an old man. And he's yelling at Cade.
Not my Coos.
Yeah.
So he starts yelling at Cade that he's in control. And Cade says, I'm not going to let you take control. And then the blues bots disappear. And then Coos disappears as Cade gets up to run and he freezes. So does Coos have, like, opposing powers that he can stop time too?
I don't think that's what was intended.
That's what we're running with here?
Zero
so Cade
clue.
Cade runs out of the building. Cut back to that first cop who's still on the phone. Who says it looks like another vigilante killing. And that's it. Was that like a leftover scene from the other half of the conversation that he just forgot about and it just happens to be here in Act 3?
I don't know.
So, cut to the kill room. Those 3 assholes are still there. Kale walks in and tells them that they have a lot more days to go before shooting one in the leg, pistol whipping. Nope, you gotta wait here a little bit longer. So, back to Kale and his girl. These are yours, bitch, and he throws the drugs at her.
All these interactions are hilarious.
Yes, this is the high comedy. This is like Three Stooges level shit.
Yeah.
They start shoving each other around hilariously. And then he yells at her, "We're done." And then it cuts twice. "We're done. We're done. We're done."
That couldn't have been on purpose.
What?
Just a glitch in the audio software.
It was like whenever Milli Vanilli got caught lip syncing and it just kept saying the thing over. Like, that's exactly what happened.
Oh,
girl, you know it's. Girl, you know it's.
That's exactly what happened.
So, cut to Cade and his wife walking, and Cade's on the phone, and it intercuts with another silent clip of the boss lady for like half a second. And then it cuts to the man in black again, going into this red glowing room, and a woman appears in the doorway with a rose, and she beckons him inside, and some shining shit's going on now. And this woman wearing lingerie appears and walks in the shadow, and we just freeze on her ass for a beat. And then it cuts to Kale walking by a bike rack, and he drops a rose on the ground.
Yeah, like, is that where his, like, Pee-wee's bike got stolen or something? What the fuck is he leaving a rose there for?
Apparently, he dies right here.
Really?
Because he never comes back I mean, he comes back at one... I'm so confused, because he's... we'll get to it.
This isn't Kale. This is death. This is Black Trench Coat.
But you see him!
Hold on, wait. Did I not pay attention enough that there was actual death in this movie?
Yeah. In the beginning, the guy in black that ghosts the homeless guy, that's death.
I thought that was Kale.
No.
Kale wears a hoodie,
Kale's
not
in
a
a black
black
hoodie.
leather trench coat.
Not the trench coat, yeah.
Oh, this changes everything. Now the movie makes total sense.
See, you just gotta pay attention.
I thought that was Kale leaving the rose. That's why I was just like, what the fuck's going on here?
Now, I thought it was Kale leaving the rose. I thought it was Kale leaving the rose because you kind of see him.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's probably not on purpose.
Maybe, yeah. Cut back to Coos at his kitty cat table with his bowl of Oops All Diamonds. He's on the phone, of course, and he says that the attack has begun. Cade, again, sneaks into the same building, saying it's time to take down the Coos Empire by striking at his pipelines.
So when he goes in this time, like he's going through like a maintenance door, and he uses his little flashlight power to unlock it, but you can see that the door has the deadbolt already out, to keep the door from closing all the way, because obviously it's one of those doors that you can't open from the outside. So they had to leave it like halfway open so they could shoot this stupid fucking movie. Oh shit! It was already unlocked. You didn't have to do anything. You just see the light through it.
So he goes in and he starts leaving these little pucks around the room of all these pipes and machinery, and everything starts exploding. And he's barely out of the way of these explosions as he's shuffling away.
Also, like, these pipes are supposed to be like funneling, I don't know, internet or something. It's just boiler pipes, it's like boilers and chilled water pipes and shit. Like it's nothing.
It's just the plumbing for the college.
Yeah, exactly.
So he starts Supermaning around the factory as explosions are ringing out. Most of them you cannot see. It's audio-only explosions.
Yeah, this part of the movie is super tedious.
He blew through the CG explosion quota real quick. So, cut to Coos on the phone in silence, but you still hear is he listening to the explosions over the phone?
Got a direct line to the explosions.
So, cut to Cade, alone in a boardroom, flashback to the stock footage of the kids on the beach, slow motion eagle again, but this time he talks to it. Says, "Hello, my friend. Thanks for the peace of mind." Metaphor.
It's metaphor.
There is no metaphor.
It faded to black, and I was praying this was it.
No,
so
this movie's got
credits.
This movie's got like 3 endings, like Return of the fucking King.
Please let them credits roll. Cut to Kale, slumped over a light post. I hope he's well. He's not.
Yeah, he broke up with his junkie girlfriend and is killing lots of dudes.
Yeah. Back with Cade and his wife in their house. He's fidgeting with her hair, and she pours them a drink. And he's a real big fan of this single beam of diagonal light that he uses in every goddamn scene of this movie.
I never noticed it.
Yeah. Something he mentioned in the Q&A was that he wanted to challenge himself to film a movie entirely at night or something.
Jesus
but he just
Christ.
Never learned how to light anything.
Christ. So she tells him that she's glad that they have their personal lives to rely on. No secrets here. And he says, "I can't reveal secrets." He says that I trust you completely, and he knocks over the wine glass for some reason.
Metaphor.
And then he grabs her and he rams his proboscis down her mouth. Later that night in bed, single diagonal beam of light, and it reveals a shadow pass by. And Cade awakens screaming, "Who's there? Who's there?" And then he just goes back to sleep.
Yeah, and we get to see like a real good view of just his loose skin hanging on whatever wire frame is composing this man.
So, cut to more stock footage of sciencey stuff. A man goes into a glowing doorway on a flat building facade, and Cade says, "I'm here." But he's actually still in bed.
Remote viewing, I guess? I don't know.
Cut back to the homeless guy. He's back. And a man in black approaches him, stabs him in the leg with a knife, pulls it out, and walks away. And the homeless guy's just like, "The fuck? These are my good jeans."
I thought that was Kale again.
Well, it was the man in the black trench coat who we're calling Death right now.
Yeah. So Death leaves a rose by a bike thing.
A bike rack.
And just stabs a hobo and walks away?
Yes.
That's not Death.
Well, I don't know. I'm calling him Death because I called that other faceless guy Death in Fateful Findings.
Yeah. He killed that man's leg.
Can you imagine?
He killed that block of wood that was underneath his pants.
That's why he couldn't feel it. Yeah.
Can you imagine trusting Neil Breen that much to like stab you with a reel in the leg?
Look, he said, okay, we're going to put this 8-inch 2x4 in your pants, and I'm going to run a knife through it. Fuck you, Neil. No, you're not.
Yeah, no. Absolutely not. You're going to hit that major artery in my leg.
Yeah, I'm going to bleed to death for this fucking movie.
No, I'm going to sit on my leg, and we're going to put an entire fake leg in that pants leg, and then you're going to do it.
Well, that's not going to look real, Neil.
Well, neither does this block that you can clearly see the outline of in my pants.
Exactly.
Neither does everything else we've filmed up to this point.
Yeah, that's okay. That's like his line. Like I needed to look real. Well, there's 2 fucking fake rats standing there, just rubber rats. It's gonna take people out of the movie, hobo.
Yeah. So, cut to Cade walking down the street when a woman starts to accost him, asking him, "Why did you shave your beard?" And I guess this is Kale's girl, even though she's got different hair now?
Well, I think she was just a hooker that Kale frequented.
Oh, okay.
Is what I was figuring.
Yeah, well, but whatever.
When Cade starts yelling, "I don't have a beard,"
Cade flips out. "I've never had a beard. Never, you fucking bitch."
It was so funny.
Like,
I've never had a beard.
That's the part he harps on, is the beard parts.
Yeah, it's legitimately one of the best line readings he's got in the whole movie.
He was so mad.
Yeah.
Like, I never had a beard.
I never had a beard. Jesus Christ. So she asks if he knows Kale, and he says, "Kale's my twin brother." And she tells him that they used to be together, and they used to hit each other, but it's not Kale's fault. So Cade gives her money and tells her to find a safe place to live.
Yeah.
He just assumes she's homeless. Cade's wife sees this, and she's disgusted.
Right. Because he just gave a hooker money.
Yeah. Cut to the kill room. Kale says it's his fate to remove evil his way, but he still misses his brother. And the men are still making jerk-off noises behind him.
Yeah.
Flashback to Cade asking Kale what's happened to him. Cut to Cade's wife getting something from some guy in a suit in a dark alley, and we follow the guy, and Cade jumps out and asks him, why are you following me? And he accuses him of being a traitor, and that you betrayed us, and he just walks away, and the man is super confused.
I thought he was a detective. Maybe
I'm just Postmates, man.
Attention. Yeah.
I'm dropping off the Jimmy Johns. What the hell?
What is your deal?
So, Cade gets on the phone, and the boss lady says she was one of them, and causes Cade to drop to his knees in the dramatic performance of the century.
I was concerned for his knees at this point.
He just blew out both knees.
He hit the pavement pretty hard with that left knee.
So he says that he didn't want to admit it as he watches his wife exchange something with another shady character from about 2 feet away.
But one of who?
Yeah.
Them.
The Coos Empire?
Yeah. Might as well. Who cares? Back at Coos' headquarters, the guards lined up again. Oh, good. Time to break in again. Maybe you can actually do something this time. He breaks in. It's over for you, Coos. And he runs in and Superman's past the guards, who all just start firing into empty air. Cade blows up the lab that he snuck through before. And it's all the exact same shots as when he first snuck in, but now with Super Mario fireworks all over it.
Right, exactly.
And then he does the thing where he runs down the hallway and he cuts the middle part out again.
God, this shit sucks.
He escapes the building as it's exploding. What are you going to sneak into for the rest of the movie, Cade?
I'll find something.
Cut to Coos' house.
He's going to sneak into our hearts.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cut to Kuz's house, and inside we see he has a home theater room with movie posters lining the walls. I couldn't make out most of them, but the two I did were Mia Jovovich's Ultraviolet and Finding Nemo. So a true auteur.
Yeah.
Right.
I did make out the rest of the drawings, but those two are very funny that they're like light box framed.
Right.
Yes, they're like super well, like.
So I can only assume like they use somebody's house that like is quasi involved in movies, and like they probably were like extras in Ultraviolet and like
a background voice and Finding Nemo.
Like Hermit Crab #3 and Finding Nemo. And their cable management of their audio system was fucking disgusting.
Yes. It's like that episode of Sunny in Philadelphia where they get the flat screen and the Blu-ray and they just dangle it from the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm almost certain this is Neil Breen's personal screening room.
Oh.
Then why does he have Ultraviolet and Finding Nemo? Probably because you know what? That's where he draws inspiration from.
We've cracked it. Those are his influences.
Yes.
Ultraviolet and Finding Nemo.
If you've seen Ultraviolet, yes, absolutely is incredibly direct reference. It's dog shit.
That's it. We figured it out.
Boys.
What were the other ones, John?
The other images were, I think they were like drawings. It was Wizard of Oz.
Hand drawn posters.
It was the Wizard of Oz characters, the Marx Brothers, and the Three Stooges were the ones that I saw.
Okay.
Well, the Stooges are acceptable.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the Stooges.
If only
when you said
that
Three Stooges earlier, the Kale versus his girlfriend was Three Stooges stuff. I was like, oh.
Yeah?
Got him.
Well, my daughter watched the Three Stooges for the first time the other day, and her mind was blown.
Yeah. I haven't shown my kids the Three Stooges yet. I probably should.
Dude, like, it holds up.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely holds up.
I will not be showing my son Three Stooges. He will 100% poke my daughter's eyeballs
slapping
out.
the shit out of you.
Yeah.
John was walking, so how you doing today, buddy? He'll just slap the piss out of him.
That's what my 3-year-old does anyway, but that's just because he's got too much of me in him.
So, back in the screening room, the fairy lady walks into the room, and there's a more different Neil Breen movie playing on the screen.
So, okay, what was this supposed to be? Was this supposed to be him leaving? And somehow they had footage of it on the screen?
I don't know. Because she does some magic on the screen and it vanishes, and then she disappears, leaving a pair of sparkling hooker heels.
Or, okay, so she's the muse. Was this how Neil Breen got the inspiration to make the movie and they committed it to film?
Well, this is one of his other movies. This is either Pass Through or Double Down. I can't remember which. But
we're never watching those.
It this sort of shores up my analysis that this is like about Neil. This whole movie's about Neil.
Jesus Christ. Okay, everything's about Neil in Neil's world. Okay?
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, so when she disappears and leaves the stripper boots on the ground, is that a Wizard of Oz reference metaphor?
Gotta be.
I'm
sure in his mind it is.
I wouldn't be surprised.
What else could it be?
It's like a punk rock
Now, what
Wizard
it's supposed
of Oz.
to mean, I don't know.
Yeah. So, cut to that empty lecture hall from earlier where Cade gets up and leaves, and as he's walking out, the boss lady enters frame and says, he'll be back. He's got the power to change the world. Glad he's on our side. Why are you here?
And if he can change the world, why doesn't he?
So, back with Kuz, still on the phone. He piles up his diamonds and skedaddles. The cats are still spinning around. Cade comes home to his wife, and the two of them walk off into the night. We get to see him slurp all over her face again from a few scenes ago, and we cut back to them in the house before they walked away into the night. I don't know what that was for. And she pulls a gun on him. And I guess he senses this because he pulls a gun and spins around himself. And she voiceovers, "It's a lonely life. It's a lonely world." And he turns around and says, "You had me at hello, bitch." Shoots her. No, he spins around and she says something that he knew that they wouldn't join them or something.
Yeah.
And he says that she's breaking his heart, and they simultaneously fire. And I thought they shot each other because he sure reacts like he got shot.
Wait, they didn't shoot each other?
No.
Well, he just gets up and fucking leaves.
He's got powers.
I thought it was because he was Superman.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he gets in some last-minute gropes as she's dying, and he tells her that he loves her, and she dies, and then he gets up and leaves, so I guess he's fine. Cut to that purple-ass swamp where Cade walks up, and Kale's there, and he tells Kale that he's sorry, and that he's with him, and a single tear runs down his cheek. And then the boss lady calls someone up and says, "She was one of them. I feel sorry for him. Send someone to remove the body."
Super necessary.
Send someone to remove the body. Cut to that same war-torn building where the police lights are flashing everywhere. Cut to the kill room where the three execs are finally dead now, and then they do the copy and paste thing again while they multiply, and then you hear him say, "Writhe and die. Justice is served." And this is where we cut to windswept Kale as he puts his hood back and walks.
Wait, I thought that
going nuts.
I thought that the movie was totally about to redeem itself for me. Because when he says justice is served and he goes to put up his hood, it looked like he was going for the beard. And I thought he was going to take the beard off
he was the same guy.
To show that it was him all along. But then, if that would have happened, then yes, the whole thing would have been worth it. But instead he just put his hood on. But as soon as his hands went up, I was very excited. I was like, he's gonna take out the fucking beard. But he didn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, he just puts his hood up and walks away. Cut back to that bowl of diamonds, and a bloody hand reaches for them and caresses them. Why?
Yeah, what's the point of this?
My guess is that Kale visited Kuz, and shot him or something.
It'd be nice if they put it in the movie.
Yeah. Back in the magic swamp, Cade looks at the disembodied head of the Green Goblin again and walks into the glowing purple swamp where he will diminish and go into the west.
Don't do that.
He's joined by his wife, and he's walking off to a big glowing tree. I mean, come on. He's joined by his wife, and they take each other's hands and embrace, and they walk together into the purple swamp, and they stop, and they drift apart, and she tells him that she'll love him for all eternity, and fades away. And Cade does his best to show human sadness, and continues into the swamp. And he says that they live for something bigger than themselves. He reaches the glowing tree, and says, "I'm here." And then reality collapses in on itself, and we see the Green Goblin again, and then we see Cade out in the swamp again, and he says that there's more important things to do to save humanity. So is he about to Gandalf the White on us? Is he coming back?
Yeah, I think he's dead.
So he says that we all live in a virtual metaverse. And he says everyone has the right to be loved and to love and peace. He looks at the camera and his finger starts to glow and he touches his heart and he says, "I'll be right here."
No. We know at least one influence.
Then we close out on that opening shot of the Earth, and a title card comes up that says, Cade Altair will return. I fucking hope he doesn't.
So he was asked about this at the Q&A. They were like, I know you're working on another a sequel to Twisted Pair, and he's like, no, I'm not. he's like I've never reused a character in a movie before. And I'm like, you put that at the end of your movie.
I had no intention to make a sequel.
Right. Where would you get such an idea
from?
That was a studio note.
Oh shit.
Nobody asked him about the ET thing? Why the fuck were you ET in the end?
Yeah.
All right, I have a guess about that too. Because so I think the film sort of betrays Neil Breen's profound loneliness and isolation. So he's like,
oh god,
he's the only person on screen for like 90% of the movie, sitting alone, stoic, silent. His character's only blood relative is estranged from him and also played by him, so it's like a compounded feeling. And he's ultimately betrayed by the only other person he loves. And in the end, he's just talking to the viewer, hoping that, like, with no one left in his life who loves him, that maybe his audience will keep him in their hearts and he can live on through his art.
Yeah. Big divorce energy. You're right.
Big divorce energy.
So, credits roll, and once again, tons of bogus companies. Anything with a B or an N is him.
I didn't even stick around for none of that. As soon as I saw the Earth, I was like, that's it, I'm done.
Yeah, I found out that Cuz is spelled Cuzzx.
Oh, what an asshole.
The fairy lady was credited as the Winged Muse, and the eagle was Astro Eagle.
The fuck?
I don't know what that means. Is that the Eagle's name, or is it like a company?
You don't have to credit stock footage.
You do if you don't want your credits to be like one screen long.
Right.
And there's a special thanks to the Nevada State College. So that is where all of this was filmed.
Ah, okay. They use it in their film class for what not to do.
It was more like special thanks to the Nevada State College, where I broke in and guerrilla shot this at 2 a.m.
Thanks for Lucky the Janitor for leaving that back door unlocked for us.
Oh my god.
Wow.
We're back. We're back.
We're back. We'll try to avoid shit like this for a little while.
It was touch and go there for me while I watched this thing.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I felt the same way. I was like, oh man, do I really want to commit to this again?
Yeah. And okay, cards on the table. It was my idea.
Well,
originally we were coming back with a Seagal film, which would have been a fun-filled romp through, fat jokes.
That other man's particular psychosis.
But then I found the Twisted Pair streaming online. I said, "Hey, there's that other Neil Breen movie that we were talking about wanting to see. Should we do that?" And then, it was kind of silence for a little while, but then I got one yay from John.
Yeah, I didn't answer.
Yeah, Blake didn't answer. So we decided to just, well, let's do that. It'll be funny. I went back and listened to the Fateful Findings episode and said, yeah, that was a good episode. Holy. I had forgotten what it was like to watch the movie.
It was rough. It was pretty rough.
Well, I can honestly say I've been through worse.
Yeah.
But not by much.
Not by much, but yeah.
But I've been through worse.
So yeah, there it is. We're back fully.
Wow.
I think we have our next movie lined up. Without, I guess I should explain. We're going to do things a little differently now. One of our ideas to save on sanity and maybe not have this thing burn out after 3 episodes is to, if you pick the movie, you're doing the synopsis. So I picked tonight's movie, so I did my role that I typically do. But next episode is going to be John's pick. And John is going to walk us through this merry little jaunt.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, so make sure on episode 3, don't have your hopes up, because y'all know how I roll.
Yeah.
I'm still very curious to see how this is going to go with Blake. Because I've hosted before.
Yeah.
Chase has hosted almost all the episodes, but Blake hasn't had a chance yet.
Yeah, it's not that I haven't had a chance. I don't want to. But
then this guy jumped out and he was shooting the gun and he was holding it wrong. Boom, roasted.
Yeah. What else are we talking about? What y'all think about income tax?
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Fun times. So, I guess that's it. Oh, what's the next movie, John? What are we watching?
Oh, we're gonna be checking out M. Night Shyamalan's Old.
It's not starring Neil Breen, is it?
No.
He should get Neil Breen in there. The Shyamalan Breen matchup.
No.
I don't know. I think Breen out Shyamalan twisted him this time with the fucking rape play.
He would have really done it if he'd have taken off that beard.
Yeah, that would have been it. Eat shit, The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
Breen took off the beard.
Yeah, he takes the beard off and looks at the screen and says, "Eat shit, The Sixth Sense."
Oh man. Yeah, so I mean, I've heard that Old's pretty bad, but I haven't seen like any Shyamalan movies since The Last Airbender. So
yeah, neither have I for that matter.
There's been something of a Shyamalan-assance.
Yes, there has been.
So let's see how he's doing.
We'll check in with the little feller. See how that goes.
Yeah.
And then we'll be treated to whatever Blake has in store for us.
Oh, if I can find it streaming somewhere, it's gonna be fun.
He's got a pick lined up.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be early 90s. It's gonna be Rob Schneider playing a teenager when he's 35.
Yes. That's right, because I'm trying to pick fun movies to watch.
So,
you know, like we were supposed to do.
Old might be a romp, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
It'll be good. It'll be good. So, that's it. We're back. Garbage Theater. We'll see you next time. Thank you for listening to Garbage Theater. As always, you can find us online at facebook.com/Garbage Theater, on Twitter at @Garbage_Theater, and on Instagram at @Garbage_Theater. If you'd care to leave us a review on iTunes, we would very much appreciate it. And if you have a movie suggestion or just want to reach out to us, you can contact us on any of our social channels or email us directly at garbagetheaterpodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all the latest episodes and happenings. Good night, and see you next time, folks.